Your dog is lying at your feet right now, totally relaxed, maybe snoring a little, and you are watching this video because you already know what happens in a few days and you are dreading it just as much as they are. The second those first booms roll through the neighborhood, that calm, sleepy dog transforms into something you barely recognize. Panting, pacing, clawing at the floor. Some dogs press themselves into the back of the closet and shake so hard you can feel the vibration through the wall, and you are standing there, heartbreaking, completely helpless, not knowing what to do with your hands. You have probably tried things before. Maybe you held them through it. Maybe you turned the TV up loud. Maybe somebody told you to just ignore it, that your comfort makes it worse, and you felt guilty for even trying to soothe them. Maybe you spent $60 on a product that did absolutely nothing. Here is what nobody in that pet store aisle told you. The window to help your dog is not during the fireworks. It is the hour before. What you do in that 60-minute window before the first explosion changes everything about how your dog's nervous system responds to the noise. And most of what actually works is already in your house. If you saw the thumbnail, you saw the promise. Add this to their bowl 1 hour out. That is exactly what this video is about. Not a prescription, not an emergency vet visit, a real whole-body protocol built on how the canine nervous system actually functions, and it costs almost nothing. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Jin Park, your neighborhood veterinarian, and welcome back to the channel. Here is a number I want you to sit with. In a 2015 survey across thousands of dog owners, nearly 70% reported that their dog showed significant stress behaviors during loud noises like fireworks or thunder. 70%. That means if you are in a neighborhood with 3 dogs on your street, 2 of them are suffering through this in silence every single year. And most of their owners feel exactly the way you do right now, helpless, guilty, wishing they had known sooner. You are not a bad pet parent. Drop the guilt at the door. The fact that you searched for this, found this, and are watching right now with a notebook because please grab a notebook tells me everything I need to know about the kind of person you are. You care. And caring is the starting point for everything we are about to do together. Today, I am going to give you a complete masterclass on the 1-hour pre-fireworks protocol. We are going to talk about what is physically happening inside your dog's body when fear hits, why timing matters more than the remedy itself, and then I am going to walk you through every layer of the protocol step by step. Some of this will surprise you. One of the blocks we cover today is something I have been recommending for years, and it still catches owners completely off guard when they hear the science behind it. Hit subscribe right now so you never miss a masterclass like this one, and let's dive in. Chapter 1. What fear actually does to your dog's body and why you cannot fix it in the middle of the storm. I want you to think about a fire extinguisher. It is useless if you pick it up after the building is already fully engulfed. You need it in your hands before the fire grows. Your dog's nervous system works exactly the same way, and understanding this will change how you approach every single anxiety event for the rest of your dog's life. When your dog hears a loud, sudden noise, the amygdala, that is the fear center of the brain, fires a signal that triggers a full stress hormone cascade. Cortisol and adrenaline flood the bloodstream in seconds. Heart rate jumps, muscles tense. Digestion shuts down completely. The rational part of the brain essentially goes offline. And here is the hard veterinary truth. Once that cascade is fully active, it takes between 40 minutes and 2 hours to metabolize out of the body on its own. Nothing you give them in the middle of it absorbs properly. The gut is not functioning. The nervous system is in survival mode. You are trying to put out a fire with a wet paper towel. But if you start your protocol 60 to 90 minutes before the noise begins, you are working with a calm nervous system that can actually absorb what you give it. You are building the armor before the attack, not scrambling for it after. I had an owner come in, a woman named Sandra, sweet lady. She had a 9-year-old beagle named Poppy. She told me, "Dr. Park, I gave Poppy everything right when the fireworks started and nothing worked." I asked her what time she gave it. She said the second she heard the first boom. I told her that was her answer. We restructured her entire approach around the 60-minute window, and she messaged me afterwards saying Poppy fell asleep on the couch before the finale even started. Same remedies, different timing, completely different outcome. This is why the title of this video means exactly what it says. 1 hour before. Not during, before. Now that we understand the timing, here is where it gets more interesting, because the first thing most people reach for is actually the least effective piece of the puzzle. Chapter 2: Why calming supplements alone are not enough, and the one thing that has to come first. Most people hear holistic anxiety protocol and immediately think about a supplement in a bowl. And yes, supplements are coming, they are a real and important part of what we cover today, but if you skip this second step, the supplements work at maybe 30% of their capacity, and that is being generous. Physical depletion is the single most underused anxiety tool in the entire canine wellness space. Here is the biology. Your dog's brain produces a neurochemical called serotonin, the same one humans rely on for mood regulation. Exercise is one of the most reliable triggers for serotonin release in mammals. A dog that has had a solid, satisfying walk 1 to 2 hours before the event arrives at that window with a meaningfully lower baseline cortisol level, their body has already burned through a lot of the excess nervous energy that would otherwise amplify the fear response. 45 minutes to an hour of genuine physical activity, not a quick bathroom trip, not a walk around the block where they sniff 2 things and come home, but an actual moving, engaged, working walk drops baseline cortisol measurably. The research on this in dogs mirrors what we see in human anxiety management so closely it is almost impossible to ignore. And here's the thing that catches most people off guard. You also need to finish that walk at least 30 to 45 minutes before you give any supplements, because if the body is still cooling down and digestion is still redirected toward muscle recovery, absorption of what comes next is compromised. So we are talking about a walk that finishes roughly 90 minutes to 2 hours before the first expected noise. You start the supplement portion of the protocol about 60 minutes out. If your dog is older, mobility limited, or it is already too hot outside for a long walk, even 15 to 20 minutes of structured sniff work in the yard, letting them follow their nose deliberately, giving them mental work to do, activates similar neurochemical pathways. The goal is depletion and engagement, not just movement. This step costs you nothing but time, and it is the foundation everything else sits on. But here's the question most people never think to ask: what is the actual fuel that runs the calming chemistry? Because you can trigger all the right pathways and still have nothing to work with if the raw building blocks are not in the body. Chapter 3: The bowl additions that build calming chemistry from the inside out. If your dog has been doing well on exercise and you still see significant anxiety, this next layer is for you. The nervous system does not produce calming neurotransmitters out of thin air. It needs raw materials. Specifically, it needs an amino acid called tryptophan, the same compound in turkey that makes you want to fall asleep on the couch after Thanksgiving dinner. Tryptophan is the direct precursor to serotonin in mammals. When your dog's diet is low in tryptophan, their ability to produce serotonin is biochemically limited no matter what else you do. The 2 most practical, safe, and widely supported whole food tryptophan sources for dogs are plain, cooked turkey or chicken breast, and plain canned pumpkin, which also happens to contain significant levels of tryptophan alongside its gut-settling fiber. 1 to 2 tablespoons of pure canned pumpkin mixed into the meal your dog eats in that pre-fireworks window is a concrete, evidence-supported choice. For a small dog under 20 pounds, 1 tablespoon. For medium dogs, 2 tablespoons. For large dogs, up to 3 tablespoons. Use plain, pure pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling, which contains xylitol in some brands, artificial sweeteners, and spices that are harmful to dogs. Always flip the can and read the ingredients. The only ingredient should be pumpkin. Another option I use regularly for dogs without dairy sensitivities is a small amount of plain, unsweetened goat milk, yogurt, or kefir. Fermented dairy contains both tryptophan and live cultures that support gut-brain axis communication. And yes, the gut-brain connection is real and measurable in dogs. An anxious gut amplifies an anxious brain. A calm gut supports a calmer nervous system. Please hear this vet warning. If you use any yogurt, kefir, or peanut butter as a delivery vehicle for supplements, you must check for xylitol, sometimes also listed as birch sugar on ingredient labels. Xylitol is profoundly toxic to dogs. It causes a rapid, life-threatening drop in blood sugar. There is no safe dose. A product that looks completely normal and natural can contain it. Read every label every single time. Never assume a product you used last month still has the same formula. 1 tablespoon of kefir for small dogs, 2 for medium, 3 for large. Always introduce fermented dairy slowly. If your dog has never had it, start a week or two before the event if possible, not the night of. Now, what about something that works on the nervous system more directly, not just through nutritional building blocks? Chapter 4. The herb that veterinary research has studied for canine anxiety and how to actually use it safely. This is the one that surprises almost every owner I have ever told it to. Chamomile. Not as a metaphor, not as folk medicine. Chamomile contains a compound called apigenin, which binds to GABA receptors in the brain, the same receptors targeted by prescription anti-anxiety medications, just far more gently and without the sedation risk or side effects. GABA is the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter in the nervous system. When GABA receptor activity increases, the nervous system literally slows down its stress signaling, anxiety quiets, muscles relax. A cooled, diluted chamomile tea added to your dog's water bowl in that pre-fireworks window is one of the most practical things you can do. Here is how I tell owners to do it. Brew 1 standard chamomile tea bag, nothing flavored, nothing with additives, plain chamomile only in 2 cups of hot water. Let it steep for 5 minutes. Let it cool completely to room temperature. Never give hot or warm liquids to dogs. Then add half a cup of that cooled tea to their regular water bowl, diluting it further with fresh water. The goal is not concentration, it is gentle, consistent exposure of the GABA receptors to apigenin over the 30 to 60 minute window. For small dogs, a quarter cup of the brewed tea in their water is appropriate. Medium dogs, half a cup. Large dogs, 3/4 of a cup. Always diluted in their regular water, always at room temperature, always plain chamomile. Do not use chamomile if your dog has a known sensitivity to plants in the daisy family, ragweed, chrysanthemums. And please hear this vet warning. If your dog is on any prescription medication, including anti-seizure medications or blood thinners, do not add chamomile without speaking to your veterinarian first. The apigenin interaction with certain medications is real and documented. I had a couple come in with a 3-year-old border collie named Kestrel. She was brilliant, high energy, and absolutely destroyed during storm season. They had tried everything. We added the chamomile water protocol to her 60-minute window alongside the movement piece, and within 2 events they described her as noticeably quieter. Not sedated, quieter. She still knew something was happening outside, she just did not spiral. That is the goal. Not to remove your dog's awareness, to lower the volume on the panic response so they can actually settle. And this is where everything we have built so far either holds together or falls apart, because there is one more layer, and it is the one that makes the nervous system feel physically safe instead of just chemically calmed. Chapter 5. The environment protocol that signals safety to the canine brain, and why most people get this completely backwards. This is the block I have been waiting to bring you to, because everything before this is preparation. This is the activation layer. Your dog does not experience the world primarily through their eyes, they experience it through their nose. The olfactory system in dogs is estimated to be between 10,000 and 100,000 times more sensitive than the human nose, depending on the breed. And here is what that means for anxiety. Scent is the fastest, most direct route to the amygdala, that fear center we talked about in Chapter 1. This cuts both ways. A sudden, sharp, chemically foreign smell can spike cortisol instantly, but a familiar, deeply associated comfort scent can lower it just as fast. And there is a specific protocol for using your own scent as a calming anchor that almost nobody in the pet wellness space talks about clearly. Your dog knows your scent better than anything in the world. Studies on canine cortisol response show that exposure to their primary caregiver's scent activates the reward and safety centers of the dog's brain directly. So here is the method. Take a piece of your worn clothing, a t-shirt, a pillowcase, something you have slept in or worn for a full day. Place it in or near their safe space, their crate, or their chosen corner at least 30 minutes before the event. Do not spray it with anything. Do not wash it. Your natural scent is the signal. Now pair that with sound masking, because this is where most people get it backwards. Most people turn on the television at whatever volume they normally use, and that volume does almost nothing against the decibel level of fireworks. The goal of sound masking is not to replace the fireworks sound. You cannot. The goal is to fill the audio environment with a predictable, familiar sound pattern that gives the nervous system something consistent to lock onto instead of flinching at unpredictable booms. Brown noise or white noise at a moderate volume, louder than background, quieter than uncomfortable, played continuously in the room where your dog will be has measurable effects on canine cortisol in studies. There are playlists built specifically for this. Species-specific calming music, slow classical music at a low tempo, or simple brown noise all work. Start at 30 to 45 minutes before the noise begins so it is already a normal background element, not a sudden new stimulus that itself startles them. And the environment piece that almost everyone skips, close every curtain and window shade before it gets dark. The visual flash of fireworks is a separate sensory trigger from the sound. Removing it reduces the total sensory load on the nervous system. You are not trying to hide the world from your dog. You are managing their sensory bandwidth so they have more reserve capacity for the auditory trigger. Here's the vet warning for this chapter, and it is a behavioral one. Do not follow your dog around the room nervously. Do not hover. Do not pick them up repeatedly and then put them down. Your anxiety is a scent signal. Your body language is a data point. Dogs read micro-tension in your posture and breathing in real time. Sit down. Be still. Be present without being anxious. The most powerful signal you can give your dog that the environment is safe is your own calm. If your dog is actively destructive, hurting themselves, or their anxiety has been severe for multiple years with no improvement despite consistent management, please do not try to handle this exclusively at home. There are veterinary options, including behavioral consultation and short-term pharmaceutical support for extreme cases that should absolutely be on the table. Holistic support is powerful and real. It is also not magic, and some dogs need more than it can offer. Knowing when to ask for help is part of being a good pet parent, not a failure. Now let me bring this all together into the single 60-minute sequence you can run with tonight. Here is how the complete protocol looks when you stack it in real time. Start 90 minutes out. Take your dog for their depletion walk. Real movement, genuine engagement, 45 minutes if they are physically able. When you come home, prepare their meal or their enrichment bowl. Add the canned pumpkin 1 to 3 tablespoons depending on size, plain pure pumpkin only. If you are using kefir, add it now. Check the label, read every ingredient. No xylitol, no birch sugar, no artificial sweeteners of any kind. 60 minutes before the first expected firework, offer the chamomile water. Cooled to room temperature, diluted in their regular bowl, let them drink naturally. Do not force it. At 60 minutes, also place your worn clothing item in their safe space. Turn on the brown noise or calming music at a moderate continuous volume. Close all curtains and window shades. Settle yourself. Sit in the room. Be still. Let the protocol work. You do not need to do all of this the very first time. If you are starting today for the first time and you only have 20 minutes, do the scent item, the sound masking, the curtains, and the chamomile water. Build up to the full protocol over time. Rotation and gradual layering is always smarter than overwhelming both you and your dog with everything at once. The quick list so you can check your house right now: plain canned pumpkin, plain chamomile tea bags, plain kefir or goat milk yogurt if your dog tolerates dairy, a worn piece of your clothing, and a way to play continuous brown noise or calming music. That is it. Most of you have all of this within reach right now. The fact that you are educating yourself, that you watch this entire video, that you are taking notes, that is not something a bad pet parent does. That is exactly what love looks like when it puts its shoes on and gets to work. If this helped you, please hit the like button right now. I know that sounds like a small thing, but the algorithm uses those signals to decide whether to show this information to other dog owners who are sitting right now in the same fear you were sitting in when you started this video. Your like protects another dog. That is not an exaggeration. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss a masterclass. Every week I bring you this kind of whole body root cause information, not quick fixes, not scare tactics, just real veterinary knowledge applied to real dogs living real lives. And leave me a comment right now. Tell me, is your dog a pacer, a shaker, a hider, or a clinger when the noise hits? And which piece of this protocol are you starting with tonight? I read every single comment, and your answer helps me know what to make for you next. The best medicine is usually already sitting in your kitchen. Give your dog a gentle scratch behind the ears for Dr. Park. Stay safe, and always trust your instincts.